What's up, everybody? So today I'm going to just talk about in terms of um, what it takes for any kind of a business. If you are in IT department, manufacturing, any kind of a business domain for that matter, as long as you're scaling from size of 5, 10 to 25, 30, 200, 300, excuse me, and it's important for you to act now to get your organization AI ready, right? So again, it does not mean every business have to use AI, but what I meant to say is if you're really having a team, dedicated team like an IT team, or you want to really operationalize the way you're executing end-to-end business point of view, your daily business, your future growth point of view, I want to give you a very like a high level glimpse, what it takes for us to have like the vision from the daily operations point of view, your front office, your product services angle, your core capabilities point of view, or your back office point of view, right? I want to see like I know like everybody have their as a business owner your typical AI ambitions that enterprises are currently really striving to pursue further, right? Now, let me, quickly give you in terms of a context of what does it mean? Like, if you are really a productivity pursuer, or um, if you're not in front of the customers, or like, or you really have some services or products in front of customers, but they're not really ready to adapt to AI solutions that you want to offer. What does it take? Whatever that matter, right? Or if you're really a business owner mindset, with a mindset in terms of AI first and AI everywhere point of view. So it does not matter what kind of a stage you are in, but let's understand if you really have an ambition from future vision perspective view in order to leverage the technology trend and how to adapt to the feasibility is a key here, right? And how far are you, whether it's in the low zone or medium zone or a high zone? And do you have, I'm going to give you a very like a drawing mode point of view, like a three rings of the radar that you can really represent different levels of feasibility, and you can really leverage the combination of different three dimensions here, whether it's a technical feasibility, whether it's an internal readiness, or whether it's an external readiness point of view, right? What do I mean by technical feasibility, right? Let me give you the context, maybe to make it more easier, let me start drawing, penning towards it. Just give me a second. All right, so I'm going to quickly share my screen. All right, let's do this. So, okay. So I'm going to just pardon me in terms of my drawing skills, but I would like to really make it more picture oriented for you to see how that goes, right? So what do I mean by? So for example, you have a different combination of levels that you are actually pursuing in your business. I'm going to zone out in terms of whether it is like, low point of view. Let's evaluate different angle and medium, right? And finally, to the centric mode point of view, high, right? Now, the feasibility again is a combination of technical feasibility, internal readiness, and external readiness, right? What do I mean by that? Is your organization's ability to obtain and implement the technology at what level it is? Is it what is the intensity level, right? What do I mean by internal readiness? Is your organization's ability and openness to utilize your employees' ability, your architecture ability, the way it has been structured, the existing technology frameworks that you've already leveraged. What does it take in order to migrate? What does it take in terms of convincing the existing technical architects or the technical, existing employers or different product owners, whoever it is for that matter, in order to have that openness to utilize and incorporate the use case, right? Now, what about the external readiness point of view? I spoke about in a just like it is a technical feasibility point of view, internal readiness, and what about external readiness point of view, right? You also need to understand the extent to which your customers who are already part of your product or service and or the partners And any kind of external parties are ready to accept AI mode of solution that you can offer, right? So considering all these three perspective view and dimensions, I'm referring to technical feasibility, internal readiness, and external readiness point of view, right? You need to combine these different dimension, how it yields on overall feasibility score point of view. That is where this low, medium, and high come into picture. So again, technical feasibility, internal readiness, external readiness, right? So what do you mean by a high feasibility point of view? The inner ring, the innermost ring, right? That means your technology is ready. You're relatively inexpensive and you're ready to blend without much of complexity involved very nicely into the existing workflow. That makes it easy for employees to adapt, right? And these use cases have really very low level barrier to adopt, and they are the good, therefore that is the good starting point. But the problem is it's not necessarily providing a competitive advantage, because the inner ring is an inner ring. It has high feasibility. You have a control over it, but that is not giving you end user competitive advantage, right? Immediately. Next, the medium feasibility point of view, middle ring. The technology is not as mature. Consider scenario technology is not as mature. And often, comparatively, you end up having a calculative report in terms of more expensive context, right? Considering the enterprise use cases, how far you've already been in terms of the business point of view, right? And some businesses being in the scenarios, they just would like to pursue this because of an early adopter of fast follower competitive desire mode point of view, right? Now the low feasibility point of view, the outer ring. Here in this zone, the technology is always unproven. Agree or no? Right? The technology is always unproven. But in the markets, employees will need much convincing, right? And when you are in this zone, right, here there is a technology readiness. Here the intensity is low. Agree? But still competitive mindset, right? And the third, low feasibility point of view, and it needs lot of convincing, right? Competitively aggressive enterprise that want to drastically transform the whole enterprise or disrupt the industry before others will seek to implement a few of these cases, although they are in low zone, right? So you need to take a call. If you're in the high zone, or if you're in the medium zone, if you're in the low zone, what is your end goal objective in order to adapt to the adapt to the AI technology or any technology for that matter, and what it takes um, to leverage the combination feasibility, in terms of technical, internal, external, what stage and the score level you have. End goal is your revenue growing with it, and how easy it is to convince end user in order to onboard them to your new solutions that you offer. Simple. That is the end goal. I hope this gave you the quick context point of view. Now, having said that, I would like to actually give a more clear picture point of view. So imagine, right? Now, what do I mean by this? So let's divide this into, I hope you're able to follow through it. This, and let's understand, right? Now, imagine you consider this as a product service domain, right? I'll tell you. And then what do I mean by this? Here, let's consider maybe this is like a core capabilities, okay? Your key core capabilities zone, right? Now, what do I mean this? Again, I'll come back to it. So maybe I'll on a quick level, right? So again, let's consider you have front office operations to consider, right? And again, let's consider you have back office, right? Now, so again, there are again pointers that you need to consider. This direction where you have the evaluation of product service, and again, this will involve, what does it mean again? This can involve your AI enhancement or your value proposition, right? AI enhancement or value proposition. The core capabilities can involve, what does it involve? Again, it could include your R&D. It could include your supply chain. It could include your operations. That's your core capabilities. And both of these product service and core capabilities point of view, it will help you change your game changing AI, right? And now, what does front office include? Can you guess? I think any kind of a business have all kind of front office mode. You have your customer success point. You have sales, right? You have customer service point of view, right? And what about the back office, right? Your admin, your HR, your legal, agree? Your finance, right? Your IT, right? So, right, your finance, your IT, and all of this, the front office, the back office, these are daily segments point of view. This is where we have to think on everyday perspective view. How does AI come into picture? So, and then, so how, and here at this angle, front office and the product vision point of view, what is that you're going to help is external customer facing, right? And here at this stage point of view at the bottom, it is internal operations, right? Your internal operations. Agree? Now, this is a generic one. Now, what I want business owner to think is from game-changing AI perspective view, everyday AI perspective, or external customer facing angle, and internal operations point of view, you need to identify your AI opportunities radar. Because everyday AI obviously enables you to boost productivity, right? If you're having so many monotonous and slow cycles for your teams and your customers, you can remove that kind of a cycles, right? But it will not, it is only improving productivity, internal point of view, but it's not necessarily helping the sustainable competitive advantage because these are front office and back office, but it's still important to sustain in your business. What does it mean in terms of a game changing this AI point of view? That actually obviously enables you to reinvent your core capabilities that I'm talking about, your research radar, your operations to get to the excellence point, deliverable point of view, right? What it takes entirely to create new products and services from your AI enhanced or how you're trying to position what you have defined with this technology leverage point of view, right? Has an enormous potential to help you gain the competitive advantage. And but it is obviously you have to invest a lot of budget in it in order to gain the success that you desire. It is far more costly and risky. So you have to understand how to prioritize, what to prioritize at different radar zone level, right? Now, um, give me a second. So let's say, maybe I'll go back. I would like to give you more robust examples right now, right? We saw the generic point of view. Now we have understood what does it take for us to have thought process and which zone that we need to focus on. Now let's move on to certain good example, right? Now let me give you one. Probably let me consider I have an I'm talking to a business owner who is into banking segment, right? Let's take that use case, right? And now again, so we have game changing, right? Game changing AI. And at this, it is everyday AI, right? Different segments point of view, right? And you have internal operations, right? And at the point when you have external customer facing, right? Your external customer facing. And then what did we decide? This is front office, back office, product service, and your core capabilities point of view, right? So here again, so to highlight, this is product or service, your core, your back office, right? And your front office, right? Now, let's understand. Now I'm going to draw. It's going to be a messy drawing. Bear with me, but I'll give you a good vision point of view, right? Let's start. As a banking domain point of view, what you might think where you can leverage. Let's say, like I said, if it is really inner circle, which is in your control, but whatever you do there is not into the competitive advantage, but it is going to increase the operational excellence point of view, right? I mean, the productivity context. Now, let's say you want to, one of the thing will be like your migration of a code conversion and the generation point of view, right? Another thing point of view is synthetic credit data, right? Your synthetic credit data and other thing here, another dot could be your banking contact center assistant point of view. How can you virtualize it, right? And the other one more could be frontline AI co-pilot point of view, right? And this is, okay, let me actually list that out. So let's say this is a code conversion, right? And so this is a credit data. And next time I'll make sure I'll draw bigger circles for the other examples, but bear with me for the banking domain. So here, when it comes to his, let's say you have banking fraud prevention, right? And let's say you have here your co-pilot, right? Your front-end AI co-pilot. And next day you have banking contact contact center assistant, right? And now, what about the next medium circle point of view? Let's say you have product recommendation, right? Your product recommendation point of view. And what other thing you can leverage, maybe even at the border point of view. Maybe the one more example could be, what do I say? Maybe loan processing, right? Loan processing, right? And maybe you would want to redefine your operations design, bank operations design, right? Now pay attention. I'm adding where I have to add. I added fraud detection point of view, your back office, because it is leading with in terms of because this is where your HR, legal, finance, IT, all this admin things come into picture. That's where I've added fraud here. So each segment, I'm going to give suggestions in terms of where you can invest AI investment or evaluation or implementation, strategical planning point of view, which segment what. So we were at the point of, at the core capability point of view, I was suggesting banking operations redesign. And what about another thing is in back office point of view, you can implement payment exception processing, right? Right? Payment exception processing point of view. And or on the other hand, everyday AI again in the back office, maybe you can understand your branch space redesign point of view, right? And what are the things? We'll come back to it. Okay, so I think we spoke about your inner having a code conversion generation and banking fraud prevention and frontline banking contact center assistant for customers. We spoke about co-pilots, your frontline AI co-pilot. And in the other medium line point of view, we spoke about banking, your product recommendation assistant point of view for the product services research, right? We spoke about having something like loan processing for back office. We spoke about having to redesign your back office banking operations. We spoke about your payment exceptions point of view. Let me, oh, okay, right, right. So we spoke, right, just give me a second. Yeah, I'll fix that. We spoke about banking exceptions, I mean, payment exception processing point of view. And then what else? Then we spoke about in the back office branch space redesign point of view. But there are a few more things that I would want to I want to really highlight, right? Now, what does it take? Uh, some more operations that I can think about is AI financial coach in terms of segments of product service. And other thing I can think about in terms of a front office, a customer service with the low level circle is having a virtual financial influences avatars that you can consider, right? That will really improvise your sales and marketing from customer experience point of view to start with, but make sure that virtual financial influences is really built intelligent way. Takes time, but it leaves you with the more advantage for the competitive adaptive point of view. The other thing I can imagine is, embedding your banking product pricing and testing strategies in order to give them the scope, what it takes initially to try out and then subscribe for more complex version point of view. The other thing is even better, not just virtual financial influences from front office, but product services context point of view. You can also introduce something called AI financial coach. Agree? You can introduce AI financial coach. Now, if you could imagine, I've been talking about all of this, but what it takes is for you to go back, take this example, and see if it's really something that you want to incorporate and leverage these examples, right? But if you can sit back and leverage all of this illustration I've given to you, um, how this opportunity radar, let's say for the banking industry that we have just spoken about, how the illustration that we have done in terms of low, medium, high, the examples that I've given you in terms of different use cases that you can adapt to, right? It's going to really help you scale step by step with your research activity, implementation activity, and sustainable context point of view, right? Now let's see one more example. Maybe we can, I'll choose one of it, maybe like a government human services or manufacturing data. Maybe majority of the business owners now, they're full-fledged manufacturing business owners. So let's see how we can quickly speak about it, right? So again, right? So let's understand. Let's say, again, I'm going to repeat the same thing, but examples will obviously be different. Quickly. So if you're really low, medium, right? And so again, this point is game-changing AI, right? And at the centric, we have at the again, if you do remember, this is internal operations. At the top, we have again customer facing, right? External customer facing point of view. And the left, we have again everyday AI, right? This template is going to be, or a template of the radar zone is for the AI opportunity for you to plan strategically. It's going to be same for any business owner, but the domains are different. Based on that, we need to get to understanding what is going to help. So this is again product or services. So what does it have again? Enhanced your value proposition, your core capabilities, right? Again, reminding R&D, supply chain operations. So what did we talk about? Back office operations, right? Again, admin, HR, legal, and finance IT point of view. Your front office, right? So front office, your customer success, sales, marketing, customer services point of view. Now, so we are talking about manufacturing domain. Again, I am not a person who have dealt with a lot of business with manufacturing, but primarily from IT segments point of view, been in the companies that was mostly leveraging on the IT domain or the technology frameworks point of view. Now, yes, obviously I'm not an expert in the manufacturing industry, but I'm trying my best to, in a generic way, what you can do, right? Still. So let's go with the inner circle point of view. What can you do on the first place? You can take care of the workforce training. And because it's important in order to adapt to the technology, if it's going to help you in a long run, right? So we are talking about workforce training, and what else? Manufacturing will have a lot of many materials. So workforce training, again, I'm giving here because you can consider this, you have HR, legal, admin, finance IT. So that's where the workforce training from the back office come into picture. Let's take an as the example here in the core capabilities. Maybe I'm talking about at the edge of this materials processing efficiency, right? To what extent you are so materials, right? Your materials processing efficiency context, right? Now, what else? What about in the front office point of view? Obviously, you have to do something related to customer sales self-service, right? Your customer self-service point of view, how flexible is your platform, right? Then here, even here, front office, maybe you can have multiple avatar generations, right? For different personas that you can actually talk to customers. Let's look at something in the product service point of view. Uh, you can think about maybe at the medium scale point of view, obviously, that is where you have to understand the flexibility of doing things, right? So let's say if I can think, no, before I go, I think, yeah, so let's go. So what about product quality intelligence? How do you evaluate your product quality intelligence, whatever product you're trying to manufacture? Then how do you evaluate your development of your product, right? And then what about in the core capabilities point of view in terms of the supply chain or operations, right? In that case, your factory asset effectiveness point of view, right? The asset effectiveness point of view. Then next, then maybe your mission effectiveness point of view, your guided, how guided it is in terms of performing automatically and it doesn't need any manual intervention, right? Guided mission effectiveness, right? So there's lots to take care of. And other thing I can think about is what about your in back office itself, your equipments, different equipments that you're leveraging for manufacturing industry equipment, longevity, right? Your industry equipment longevity. And what else? How about you're trying to enhance your design process, design of the process, right? For daily deliverable pipeline point of view. So all of this are some of the high level examples I can think about. So this is a start of illustration of what you can do for your manufacturing domain. But I would request you to again spend time from your excellence expertise for your business domain context, what kind of improvisation you can do in all of these radar zones, right? Now, so having said that, I think probably this one more example I can take. Like I said, I think we spoke about now recently manufacturing domain. Now we at the start I also mentioned how about maybe majority of the people who want to leverage some human services, right? So let's understand another example, human services context. So, right, so again, same circle. This time I'm going to keep it simple. You already know what points goes where. Game-changing AI. The left side is everyday AI, right? And this is a bottom point of view or internal operations. Again, I hope you remember which zone, what we are talking about. This is again product, service. So this might be a little repetitive for you, but I'm just doing it on a high level so that it's easier to explain for each domain example we're talking about. So front office, back office. All right. So by this time, I think you already know what each zone is focusing on. right? Again, I'm not using Compass, so bear with me. This shows my excellent drawing skills. But yeah, on a paper, I'm good. All right. So let's start. So I think we decided to take human services industry example point of view, right? What does it take? Maybe one thing immediately can think about, obviously, let's say, see, in back office point of view for any kind of human resource, right? So synthetic incidents, any kind of what kind of incidents you can handle, right? Then your whoever is dealing. One more thing is you can think about in terms of manager training. So the inner circle is incompletely your scope point of view, how and what best you can process. For front office, one of the thing you can think about is what kind of personalization you can want to introduce for complex intervention, right? Let's say, for complex scenarios, right? To eliminate some of the lot of the monotonous manual intervention point of view. I think each company is different, how you're handling your human services industry. So please take a call and first list out all the flows or workflows or operations you are dealing with in different domains and understand what I meant from here. So the other thing is maybe going to a little bit next circle here in front office. Let's say we can also think about in terms of process explanation, right? How is it really conveyed to customers in what mode? Process explanation for your service recipients, right? Then other thing you can also think about in different zones is, let's say, some of the what kind of synthetic it can be. Yeah, I mean, what about other case materials, reference materials? How can you synthesize your policy case reference materials in more dynamic nature way, right? And your kind of reporting structure, language reporting structure, what kind of quality is it offering? Then what else, and what kind of a virtual assistant you would like to have? What kind of virtual assistant you can have? How can you capture different notes, case notes, and your meeting notes? How can you automate that process, right? So, and we spoke about virtual assistant, we spoke about meeting notes, we spoke about manager training point of view. But what about what kind of support system you have for each individual cases, right? Your worker support system point of view, right? And what else can we think about? What kind of integrated view of a different recipients of different verticals you support in your human services that you can have your view, right? Integrated view. What kind of application you have to have a one integrated view of all the human services workflows that you're handling. That all these is like an admin, and as an admin, I would want to have that integrated view, right? Because we are talking about back office here, which includes HR, legal, admin, finance, everything, and because that will help you to really make a good decisions, right? You agree or no? So, I mean, I'm sorry, I meant to say, I'm pretty sure you agree to the point that that investment really will run in a long run scale. And what about multilingual case management for front office, right? Multilingual case management for front office. And I think we also spoke about here, process explanation for services recipients. All right, I think I gave you some good examples of internal operations, external customer facing segments, game changing AI, and everyday AI point of view. So now I think I'm going to leave you here with now that we have covered the good examples of couple of segments. So now one question I would like to ask you is, where are your AI opportunities based? Please take some time, plot some ideas, and ask yourself, how far does our enterprise want to go with AI? Now, again, maybe you don't need AI at all, but if you're really ready to adapt to AI from futuristic vision point of view, I'm pretty sure every enterprise from different domains, just does not mean just the IT segment, technology, the SaaS solutions point of view. No, like we just discussed how this can be incorporated even in the manufacturing, human services, anything for that matter. Irrespective of that, I think every enterprise will have to pursue everyday AI at some point of a time, and your competitive advantage also will have to come through from game changing AI. Remember the right segment we spoke about. So, what you can really focus on is different activities. Again, maybe you can hire different IT leaders to set up the organization for AI success, both from security aspect, data aspect, and AI principles aspect, right? You have to understand how to get from point A to point B based on your uh, segment decisions and where you want to prioritize from everyday AI and the game changing AI. So 50% of almost, if you think about from Gartner report point of view, 50% of consumers say they do not trust that humans will use AI responsibly. But there are many concerns, right? And also, I think on high level, single digit percent of IT leaders also say the data is AI ready. But is that really AI ready? Based on what factors or metrics they say AI ready? I'm pretty sure they have a good metrics to showcase. But does it apply for every business domain? Is the question. That can be done only from the perspective company who can do that R&D for themselves. So end of the day, build your business use case for generative AI. Don't rush. Whether you're a communication service provider, whether into your life sciences or manufacturing or retail, insurance, whatever, education, energy utilities, government segments like contact centers, public safety, regulatory compliance, anything for that matter. Whether you're into technology and service providers, healthcare players and providers, whatever that matter, actionable, objective, insight, planful is really important, right? So at this, I think I'm really planning to. I'll keep sharing. I'll do my best in terms of having to share more and more content that can help you scale your business, both from operational aspect, technology aspect, anything for that matter, right? I mean, I think whatever we speak and share the content, I would want to get the feedback, so that we can research the content together, and that's going to help what it takes. That's going to help us understand what it takes for any business domain to sustain in this fast-pacing, technology-driven mode, right? Um, s- so let's stick to it and talk to you soon. Thank you.